Hello, fight fans, and welcome to another edition of What Makes You Smarter. It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com, coming to you live and in living color from the Radio What studios. And this is my podcast, the aforementioned What Makes You Smarter. It's an extension of the RadioWhat.com internet radio station that I've been running for quite some time. And if you need DJ services, where do I always send you? DJLittleRock.com. This fight brought to you by DJLittleRock.com for all your DJ needs, all your entertainment needs. Check availability and get a free price quote at DJLittleRock.com. And if you want to tell your story or hear the stories of others, I encourage you to check out my other podcast, What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. Oh my goodness. Oh, this is a very bad impression of Mr. Howard Cosell. Very instrumental in this young man's career. I'm not sure if they had met by this time, February 25th, but we're going to find out together on this date in history, according to History.com, our good friends at History.com. Young Muhammad Ali knocks out Sonny Liston for the first world title. Oh my goodness. Boxing. I do enjoy boxing. I did a little amateur boxing back in the day. Yeah, did a little fisticuffs until I got knocked out and I went, no, I don't think I want to get hit anymore. But on this date in history, February 25th, Sonny Liston, a young Muhammad Ali knocks out Sonny Liston for the first world title. February 25th, 1964, 22-year-old Cassius Clay, as he was then known, shocks the odds maker by dethroning world heavyweight boxing champ Sonny Liston in a seventh-round technical knockout. The dreaded Liston, who had twice demolished former champ Floyd Patterson in one round, was an 8-1 favorite. However, Clay predicted victory, boasting that he would float like a butterfly, sting like a bee, quote, and knocked out Liston in the 8th round. The fleet-footed and loquacious. Yeah, there's a word I haven't used. I'm going to look that up real quick. Loquacious, tending to talk a great deal. Talkative. I like that. I like that a lot. Am I too loquacious? Maybe a little bit. Youngster who would later become known as Muhammad Ali. Yeah, and I said it with an improper accent. Muhammad. How do you want to pronounce it? Let me know. Muhammad Ali needed less time to make good on his claim. Liston, complaining of an injured shoulder, failed to answer the 7th round bell. Oh my goodness. A few moments later, a new heavyweight champion was proclaimed. Cassius Marcellus Clay Jr., born in Louisville, Kentucky in 1942. He started boxing when he was 12 and by age 18 had amassed a record of over 100 wins in amateur competition. In 1959, he won the International Golden Gloves heavyweight title and in 1960 a gold medal in the light heavyweight category at the Summer Olympic Games in Rome. Clay turned professional after the Olympics and went undefeated in his first 19 bouts, earning him the right to challenge Sonny Liston, who had defeated Floyd Patterson in 1962 to win the heavyweight title. On February 25th, 1964, a crowd of 8,300 spectators gathered at the Convention Hall Arena in Miami Beach. Hey, that's where I'm from. To see if Cassius Clay, who was nicknamed the, quote, Louisville Lip, could put his money where his mouth was. The underdog proved no bragging fraud, and he danced and backpedaled away from Liston's powerful swings while delivering a quick and punishing jabs to Liston's head. Liston hurt his shoulder in the first round, injuring some muscles as he swung for and missed his elusive target. By the time he decided to discontinue the bout between the 6th and 7th rounds, he and Clay were about equal in points. A few conjectured that Liston faked the injury and threw the fight. but there was no real evidence, such as a significant change in bidding odds just before the bout, to support this claim. To celebrate winning the World Heavyweight title, Clay went to a private party at a Miami hotel that was attended by his friend Malcolm X, an outspoken leader of the African-American Muslim group known as the Nation of Islam. 2 days later, a markedly more restrained Clay announced he was joining the Nation of Islam and defended the organization's concept of racial segregation while speaking of the importance of the Muslim religion in his life. Later that year, Clay, who was the descendant of a formerly enslaved person, rejected the name originally given to his family by the owner of enslaved peoples and took the Muslim name of Muhammad Ali. Muhammad Ali would go on to become one of the 20th century's greatest sporting figures, as much for his social and political influence as his prowess in his chosen sport. After successfully defending his title 9 times, it was stripped away from him in 1967 after he refused induction into the U.S. Army on the grounds that he was a Muslim minister and therefore a conscientious objector. That year, he was sentenced to 5 years in prison for violating the Selective Service Act, but was allowed to remain free as he appealed the decision. His popularity plummeted, but many across the world applauded his bold stance against the Vietnam War. In 1970, he was allowed to return to the boxing ring, and the next year, the U.S. Supreme Court overturned Ali's draft evasion conviction. In 1974, he regained the heavyweight title in a match against George Foreman in Zaire and successfully defended it in a brutal 15-round contest against Joe Frazier in the Philippines the following year. In 1978, he lost the title to Leon Spinks, but later that year, he defeated Spinks in a rematch, making him the first boxer to win the heavyweight title 3 times. He retired in 1979, but returned to the ring twice in the early 80s. In 1984, Ali was diagnosed with pugilistic Parkinson's syndrome. Pugilistic, that's fighting. Pugilist. He's a fighter. Parkinson's syndrome, and has suffered a slow decline of his motor skills functions ever since. He was inducted into the International Boxing Hall of Fame in 1990. In 1996, he lit the Olympic flame at the opening ceremonies of the Summer Games in Atlanta, Georgia. I remember that. What a surprise to see him lighting. I mean, it was, you could tell his hands were shaking, but he lit that flame, and it was, it brought a tear to my eye, more than one tear. Ali's daughter, Layla, made her boxing debut in 1999. It's in the blood. Ali, Boombaye, Ali, Boombaye. At a White House ceremony in November 2005, Ali was awarded the Presidential Medal of Freedom. On June 3rd, 2016, Ali passed away after a period of failing health. Oh my goodness, the wonderful, the amazing, the outspoken Muhammad Ali on this date in history, February 23rd, knocking out Sonny Liston. Oh my goodness, I like learning, and I like remembering history. I know I've heard about this fight. If you get a chance, I know if you're watching the video version of this, I have the Liston fight playing behind me. If you can, check out the YouTube. It's about 15 minutes of pure fighting, gladiatorial, just amazingness. This man, Muhammad Ali, just, yes, he's a great fighter, but he was very outspoken. And that's probably a big part of the reason that we remember Muhammad Ali. But, hey, I like history.com. Make sure you check out their website for more on the dates in history. There's always something good going on there. I appreciate them putting it out there, and I appreciate learning. And thanks for learning along with me. This has been What Makes You Smarter. Hey, if you'd like to tell your story or hear the stories of others, I encourage you to check out my other podcast. It's called What Makes You Famous. Find it everywhere using the hashtag What Makes You Famous. That's it for this edition of What Makes You Smarter. It's KeysDAN with RadioWhat.com, DJLittleRock.com. Peace. I'm out.